to people who are members of their volunteer fire company or are pursuing an emergency medical technician certification. But people that apply, they don't need to meet either of those criteria. If they think they're deserving, they can submit the application, and if the committee ourselves, if we view them as deserving, they can get the scholarship regardless if they meet those criteria or not. So it's a good thing. There's been a lot of people put a lot of man hours into this to fund it, to put the application together itself. All in all, it's a good thing that we've put together. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but we're proud of what we've done.
Yeah. Now, Posey's been gone for how long?
June of 2020.
June of 2020, he passed away after that long, long career. He helped a whole lot of people in a number of ways, and we think especially of his contributions in terms as a firefighter and as somebody who helped people become EMTs. That was really close to his heart.
That is correct. He was one of those people where if he taught you something, you wouldn't forget it just by his demeanor himself. He was one of those people who was bigger than the room that he stood in, and it was that goes a long way when you're trying to learn something off of somebody. When you look at someone and you truly respect them and you believe in what they're saying, and they carry themselves in that demeanor and manner where it's that's what they love, and you can tell when you can see that love and care showing out of their body. That goes a long way. It helps you to learn yourselves, and as you said, but be it firefighter who was in the United States Army, Indiana County Hazardous Materials Team, EMT instructor. Growing up when I was, 13, 14 years old and I was putting on my first pair of bunker gear, Posey was one of the guys that taught me, everything that not everything, but a large amount of things that I've come to know today that I'm, passing on to the next generation. So it's, he may be gone, but his legacy is still here and it goes a long way.
How to snap this and buckle that, huh?
Yeah. Hey, make sure that was one of the things. Make sure all your straps are done. If your straps aren't done, the fire will kill you. So it's, that was one of the things he taught. I still, to this day, I can hear his voice telling me that, and whether or not I still don't believe the fire will kill you if all your straps aren't done, but he'll, that was his go-to. So I still adhere to it. And anytime riding in the truck going to a fire, it's in my head telling me you got to strap everything and make sure everything's buckled tight.
Yeah, well, those kinds of guys are so essential. And guys such as the Coral, just take a second and talk about Coral-Graceton Fire Department, because you guys are doing it right. You're getting young people involved. It speaks to the community itself, but it also speaks to the need for other fire companies to look for young guys, young gals who are going to become firefighters and be the next generation for their communities.
That's correct. I can think back to 6 or 7 years ago standing here when I was I guess I'm still the young guy sitting here, but now I look down and, there's a next generation coming up, and that's what you need. It can't be, you can't have people for 30 years and expect to bring no one else in and expect the place to succeed. So it's, we've been fortunate to the extent where people are coming in, people are buying into what we believe in, the mission, and we try to, the biggest thing is fostering an environment that people want to succeed in, people want to be a part of. They don't want to walk in and listen to complaining and fighting and infighting and all. They don't want to see that. So we try to limit that. Obviously in an organization like that, you're going to have some debate, but I think what we've done a good job of is limiting the debate to just that debate. It's not personal. It's not a fight. And that's what you need to do to attract the future generation, because it's fire companies everywhere struggling for membership. And if it's not corrected here soon, there may come a day when, you have an emergency and it takes half an hour for someone to show up. And that's not what we want here in Indiana County. We don't want that across the state of Pennsylvania. We don't want that anywhere. So it's, it's a membership drive. It's always recruitment. That's the thing. It's something that even if you're not doing it, you're always doing it. So it's anyone that's interested, there's a lot of ways you can become involved. It doesn't have to be running into burning buildings to try to pull a cat out and get on the front page of the newspaper. There's a lot of things from the administrative side to the actual firefighting side. So we encourage everyone, not just in Coral-Grayson, but across the county, across Pennsylvania. Yeah. If you think you have something to offer, become involved.
Yeah, and of course, there's all the training that you go through in order to be up to date on the latest stuff. There's equipment, things in that nature. So even if you're a fundraiser for a firefighting company, for a volunteer firefighting company, that's as important as anything else, because those needs have to be met.
Yeah, that is correct. Everybody watches the TV shows and think being a firefighter means nothing but running into a burning building, but probably 90% of your time is spent making hoagies, running a bingo. There's a lot of things that go on to it, and that's the majority of your time, unfortunately, is the way the system's designed right now. But it's, as you said, if you have one more person there just to volunteer their time there, that's more time that someone that actually wants to, do the actual firefighting side of it can dedicate to training or, bettering their craft so they can help the community.
All right, let's get back to the scholarship. How do people apply for this?
So there is a on the Coral-Graceton Volunteer Fire Company, we have the press release, which is out, which it explains the entire process. If anyone doesn't hear exactly what I'm saying right now, you can look to there, which is on Coral-Graceton Volunteer Fire Company on Facebook. But the process essentially goes, we need anyone interested, and as I said, this can be anyone that's in a local volunteer fire company pursuing an emergency medical technician certification, or neither of those. And it doesn't have to be a traditional student. It can be someone that's 45 years old that decides they want to go be an EMT. You can apply for this scholarship. It's not essentially following the traditional routes. Even trade schools. If you want to go be an electrician and you're a volunteer firefighter, apply for this scholarship. It's, Posey wasn't a traditional man, so we don't want the scholarship to be a traditional scholarship. There's a lot of way to go around here. So all you have to do is submit a personal statement. You need your resume and also your proof of acceptance or enrollment in an institution of higher education. That can all be submitted to me, Logan Dellafiora, at L.S.Dellafiora, DELLAFIORA, at gmail.com. And that is due by April 30th of 2022. And for those people that are applying, those students that are applying that are a volunteer firefighter, we also ask that an officer of your organization submit a letter of recommendation explaining your involvement in their organization so we can see that and how heavily involved you are.
How are the scholarships distributed then? Is it one per year? Is it a number of scholarships in a certain amount? How does that happen?
So right now, so the scholarship endowment has been funded through entirely through a golf tournament we host every year. To give a little harmless plug here. This year it'll be most likely, we haven't scheduled it in stone, but it'll most likely be the Saturday before Father's Day. So I believe that's off the top of my head, June 18th, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. But that's entirely funded through that. Last year, we were able to give, before the scholarship committee was entirely assembled, we were able to give $250 donations to Citizens Ambulance and the Disabled American Veterans of Indiana County. This year, our goal is to give one $500 scholarship out. And then hopefully, as it grows, that could grow to a $1,000 scholarship. It could grow to two $500 scholarships. And it's a fluid thing where if we only get 2 applications from 2 deserving candidates, there's nothing to stop us from giving, $500 to each candidate. Yeah. So it's that we have some discretion, which is nice to have in that situation. If you see 2 people you think deserve it, we can give it out that way.
You go. So it's more like the State Farm Show butter sculpture than it is the granite with the chisel.
Yeah, that is correct. Hopefully the butter doesn't melt, though. We'll see.
Logan Dellafiora with us here this morning, and we appreciate that so much. Firefighters have to get out on the roads today with all of that going on?
Yeah, it's looking that way. Hopefully, as long as the pagers don't go off, I might sit in my basement all day and watch TV. We'll see where the day leads.
There you go. Back in law school on what, Monday next week or the week after?
Start Monday. I got a state and local government class Monday night at 5 o'clock. So
there you go.
If anyone wants to sit on that, it's on Zoom. I can send you a link and you can enjoy that.
How many semesters left?
Last one. Into the last semester, and I'll be home. So
there you go.
It'll be nice.
There you go. Logan, thanks for coming in so much and visiting with us.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.